Hello everybody, Thunder here, and while I'm still working on my next song translation, YouTube kindly reminded me that it's been 3 months since I don't post anything, so here I am. I'm actually going to do something that I wanted to do for a long time, which is a tier list of all of the movie Taisen movies out there. So as of this recording, there has been 13 movie Taisen movies, and we're going to start with the first one. We're going to create the ultimate tier list. Obviously, this is based on my opinion, and I'll leave the tier maker down below so you can try as well. We're going to get started with the first one, the original movie Taisen 2010. Before they had fancy names, they had a date, which was not even the date that the movie came out. The movie came out in 2009. That was the first one that introduced the concept of having the previous writer movie, the new writer movie. And honestly, I think that this one is a clear A tier for me. I love this movie. I know that it's flawed as heck, but it has some charm to it. We get introduced to really interesting points in the Decade mythos, being like the kind of the ending of Decade, even though it was completely different from what they teased us at the end of that series and had to retcon it in the re-release. But for Double, we actually get Begins Night, which was really cool, really nice introduction to Skull. When they get together, it's really fun, although we don't see the actors kind of play off each other, so that's kind of what takes a little bit away from it. But yeah, no, definitely an A tier. Next, we're going to talk about movie Taisen Core, the O's and W movie that continues the trend of the two different movies with the final movie at the end. Now, although the characters, they do meet before they transform at the final part, I have to put this movie in D tier. I absolutely do not like this movie. The double part was not the double part, was like a skull part, which was good, but you know, you're there to see the double cast and they go and just throw a skull story in there. I don't understand why. And the O's is not even canon, so it's completely out there. The ending with Kamen Rider Core was completely ridiculous, so definitely D tier. Next one, we have movie Taisen MEGAMAX, which is the Heisei and O's crossover. I will put this in S tier. It's the first really good movie Taisen, is the one that I actually go back and watch it. Both parts were really good. Oz's part was amazing, talking about like the consequences of what happened at the end of that series. Heisei was really fun with Nadeshiko, and when they get together, it's not even a 3-part movie, it's a 5-part movie. There's 5 little movies in there, and at the end, when everyone gets together and everyone fights, it's super hype, is one of the best ones, so it's S tier for sure. Next, we are going to talk about the movie Taisen Ultimatum, which is the Wizard Heisei one. This one is kind of weird because it's mostly a wizard story, like the climax is all wizard, but the Heisei part is set in the future, and it's not bad actually. I like how they brought a lot of the legacy characters and they reimagining them with Inazuma and the I forgot the name of the bad guys, but even Poitrine gets to come back in this. So definitely it's a nice one, but I would put it in B tier. I think it is not as good and is a little bit forgettable compared to what is in the A tier. Next one, we have the Sengoku Daikeisen, the Wizard and Guy movie, and that is, I'm gonna piss a lot of people here, this is S tier above the Heisei, the MEGAMAX one. And my reason is the following. I think Wizard works best in movies, and the Wizard part is really good. It's kind of the ending of that show, and it bookends everything, but the Gaim part is just so perfect. The whole isekai thing with the Bujing riders and all the cameos, and like it's so good, and it ties it all together at the end. So yeah, 100%. It is my favorite movie Taisen. I actually own the Blu-ray for that one. Number 1 for sure. Next one, we have the Full Throttle one, which is the Drive and Gaim one. The Gaim one was the Gaim part was interesting with the hex, and the Drive part had Lupin, but I ultimately think is kind of a forgettable movie. Is not bad by any means, so I'm not sure if I should put it in high B or low A. I'll put it in high B. I think it is a very serviceable movie, but a little bit forgettable for sure. Next one, we have movie Taisen Genesis, the Ghost and Drive one, and I will go straight away and say it that this is a C tier. It is completely forgettable. While getting the images for this, I completely forgot that the enemy was Leonardo da Vinci. I had no idea. I've completely forgot about that. But credit where credit is due. This is the first one that breaks the 3 movie tradition. It actually, it's a one story. Everyone gets time slipped together, and it's kind of cool to see. It's more ghost focused, obviously, but it's nice to see Drive's part in there as well. But overall, very forgettable movie. So next up, we have the first of the Heisei Generation movies. That is the Eggzade and Ghost with Dr. Pac-Man. And this is a really good movie. It's definitely high A tier. It's the first with the concept of the Heisei Generations. Obviously, the story is Eggzade focused, but Ghost plays a big part of it because he's kind of like the only way that they can solve the problem, being a ghost to Pac-Man. Introducing Pac-Man was really cool. Also bringing back Drive, Wizard, and Gaim, even though Gaim is suit only, was a really cool one as well. But yeah, definitely high A tier, really enjoyable movie. A little bit of a pacing issue, but that's for sure. But now, Heisei Generations Final. Heisei Generations Final is one of my favorites. I'm not sure. It's definitely S rank. I don't know if it's better than MEGAMAX or worse than MEGAMAX. I will put better than MEGAMAX just because it does what MEGAMAX does, only a lot better. The whole concept of 2 worlds, of Eggzade and Build world getting together, but not only that, having, you know, bringing Fukushisota back as Fourze, having Ghost and Eggzade and O's, having like a little O's chapter in there as well, was really, really fun. And you can't forget, like, there's so many unforgettable moments. For example, like them driving the big hand, or when they all do their catchphrases at the same time. It's such a fun movie, definitely one of the top ones. Next up, we have the last one in the Heisei Generations era, because the last one in the Heisei era is Heisei Generations Forever. Heisei Generations Forever is technically the Geo build one. That one is 100% is the best one. Is top S tier. Obviously has its problems, but the nostalgia factor, just how big that movie is, and the fact that it's able to navigate the complicated parts of the franchise, like not having Odagiri Joe to reprise Kuga, or not being able to bring, you know, Wizard in there, bring Double back, but including those as part of the story, and also bringing Sato Takeru for that amazing heartfelt moment. It was great. It was honestly an amazing farewell to the Heisei riders, and I think is the best Geo movie out there, even though Build gets a little bit forgotten at the end. Now we're on to the Reiwa era, and we now have the Kamen Rider, the first generation, Reiwa the first generation. I think this one is comfortably mid-A. It's a really fun movie. It's really important for 01. It tells a really cool story. It uses the Zio cast as a plot device to bring all the characters to the past, but it's cool to have this different timeline of what if the Humagear were actually all evil and they all rebelled against humanity, and humanity is about to be extinct. So it's a really fun time. I really enjoyed it. It's not better than the Heisei Generation, any of them. but it is a fine movie. Now we're going to talk about the Beyond Generations, the Saber and revised one, because there was no Saber and Z01 movie because of the pandemic. So this one, I think it's a B, and I think that is a high B. I love the concept of Kamen Rider Century. I think it was a really nice story having him or them as the main character, but also, you know, spanning 40 years in the past and 40 years in the future, having that little Ichigo moment without having Ichigo be part of the story, also bringing Hiroshi Fujioka's son to play young Hongo Takeshi was perfect, and he didn't overstay his welcome. He was that scene. He henshin, he fought, and that was it. It was nice seeing the revised and Saber cast becoming other writers as well. I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's a really fun mid-tier movie Taisen. Which brings us to the last one, the Battle Royale, which if you've seen my video, if you've seen my review, you know that it's not a good movie. They go back to that 3-arc format, and the problem is that the first arc, the revised arc, is really disconnected because the second and third arc are revised, are Geats based. So yeah, I did not enjoy this movie. I think it's probably D tier. It's D tier for sure. Yeah, so this is the tier list, the Thunder tier list for the movie Taisens. I normally prefer movie Taisens more than the summer movies, but let me know. Do you want me to make one for the summer movies? That would be really fun. Let me know in the comments below, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!